Babri Masjid was demolished. The after effects of it were seen in Mumbai. Nothing happened in Ayodhya, nothing happened in Allahabad, nothing happened in all the other adjoining cities. But in Mumbai, because in the night people would just come in with their talwars and their guns and all, and they were on a killing spree. In the morning when I saw him, his face was completely red and swollen. He had literally escaped being killed.
So they caught him, beat him up.
They were about to kill him.
Your father, y'all set up a signage business.
Right.
And then something drastic happened and you split ways.
We came into loggerheads with each other till one fine day he just said, Kenny, we cannot work anymore together. I've had a very illustrious sort of a career. I dabbled between a lot of jobs, and by the time I realized it that I cannot take any orders from anybody, I decided to get into business. My losses accumulated to up till 30 lakhs. One fine day, one of my friends just came over to my factory. So she said to me, okay, Mujtaba, till the time you do not decide right now to shut off your business, I'm not moving out from here. And she said, give it to me in writing right away. So one of my ex-girls, she told me something very upfront and blatantly. I wanted to help her in some parts of her business. She just told me, look, if you want to talk to me as a friend, it is great. But you should not be giving me any advice on business, especially after whatever failures you've had.
What happened that made you realize, I need help?
So I would be just sitting in my room, closed, and just staring at the skies.
No, you used to look at the skies and what?
Do nothing.
So many things you went through. But you overcame it.
Honestly, Ryan, I have still not overcome it. Okay, because of my past mistakes. I used to be an extremely hard foodie. Okay, and I used to have a lot of nakhras when it came to food. But after going through failures, now even dal chawal is amazing for me. Rate of success in anything in life is supposed to be not more than 15%. And 85% of the times you have to fail. But yes, if you keep on hitting the hammer on the nail, tuck, 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 and one fine day it will penetrate the wood and it will go inside. It will do its job. It will do its job. It will do its job.
Hey guys, this is Creative Genesis Season 2, and this time the intro is going to be short, to the point. Today I speak with Mujtaba Haazik. You know what really touched me about him was when he told his story at an event called Pecha Kucha. And the heartache he's gone through, the failure he's gone through, the depression he's gone through, it really resonated with me. And I believe that his story has to be told. So I invited him on the podcast and we talk about things like failure, multiple business failures. We talk about things like depression, which hit him really hard. We talk about things like marriage. His marriage nearly broke because of all the things he went through. We talk about things like struggle. And in the end, we come to the fact that today he's doing very well and I'm very happy for him. And he shares his beautiful story in a very beautiful way. And I believe this episode is meant for all of you who struggle, including me. All of you who struggle, all of you who go through depression, mental health issues, failures. Listen, if you're going to have to overcome it, you need to listen to stories of people who have overcome this. So listen to this podcast. My name is Ryan Lobo of Winfluence Media, and this video is shot at Creator Studio Goa. This is the only studio where you can shoot your podcast, where you can shoot your content, and you can be content with it, if you know what I mean. So if you don't have any equipment, if you don't have nothing, just come over here, bring your script, be ready to be shot. We give you the footage. If you need great content shot, come here, Creative Studio Goa. Once again, this is Creative Genesis Season 2, Ryan Lobo, and we speak today with Mujtaba Haazik. I'll see you there.
So, Mujtaba, first of all, thank you for accepting my invitation.
Pleasure indeed.
And you have a very interesting name. I've never heard of the name Mujtaba.
Yes, it is not Mustafa, and the 1,000 plus different concoctions and decoctions that are made of my name. But it is Mujtaba.
Mujtaba. It's
So
probably
Mujtaba.
my most favorite concoction.
It was kept by my grandfather actually. And yes, people calling me Mujtaba is a very, very rare thing.
Oh, they call you Mustafa?
They call me Mustafa, they call me Mushi, they call me Muju, they call me Mustafa, or many other things. In fact, in my initial years of college, in my 11th standard, I would be walking on the road, and at that time, the song of A.R. Rahman had just popped in, Mustafa, Mustafa, don't worry, Mustafa. And people will be singing behind my back that particular song. So, anyway, the name actually means the chosen one. Mustafa means a friend.
Okay.
Mujtaba means a chosen one. So it's just a syllable difference in Arabic, but the whole meaning entirely changes.
Amazing. So let me tell you why I invited you to be my guest on the podcast. We had done an event together, the Pecha Kucha event.
Correct.
And the title was Failure.
Correct.
I spoke about my story.
Correct.
And you spoke about your story. And I was really touched by your story because
thank you.
You went through a really, really tough time. And a very, I would say for a man, quite, I mean, I can't put words to it because it was so many things you went through. But you overcame it. And that's why I wanted to invite you here.
Honestly, Ryan, I have still not overcome it. Okay. Because of my past mistakes. And I have to say mistakes. Why? Because if I do not call them mistakes, I cannot move further on.
Yeah. The first step is recognizing.
Yes. Whatever it is.
We'll get into that. But perhaps just for context, I do this with most of my guests on the regular episodes. Mujtaba, if my guest, if they don't know you, I ask this to everybody. Who are you?
I am Mujtaba Haazik. My father's name is Mr. Idris Haazik. And I have this thing. I've had a very illustrious sort of a career. I dabbled between a lot of jobs. And by the time I realized it that I cannot take any orders from anybody, I decided to get into business. I could not take any orders from anybody because I was thrown out of every job.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that was a problem. Realized the problem and then started off. So once when I started off with my own businesses, everybody does make mistakes. I made a few mistakes also in my different businesses. But yes, today, fortunately, I am into the business of signboards. I manufacture signboards. I call my company as Mark Your Brand Premium Signage. That's the area that I have defined into the premium segment of signboards. So
that's your niche to create.
That is my niche.
Signboards. So these are what? LED signboards.
So these are basic LED signboards, and we do have 50 materials, effects and finishes only pertaining to signboards. So one of my projects right now that I'm doing is for Bowery. They're starting off a new restaurant in Mumbai.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did their Goa restaurant over here. Then after that, they got in touch with me for Mumbai.
Wow.
So I guess I must have done something good, which is why it happened.
Exactly. I mean, there's so many vendors in Bombay, but they chose you.
Correct.
Amazing. So now you said you've gone through many journeys, or what would I say, many careers or many businesses. I don't know yet. But let's dive into the beginnings of it, right? The genesis of Mujtaba. So where were you born? What was your upbringing like? Because I think that's where you had spoken. Yeah, you had spoken about that particular, which I want to get into. Where were you born? Tell us your background, your family background. And
sure. So my father is an Indian. My mother is a Pakistani.
Pakistani?
Yes.
Wow.
She makes amazing food.
Oh, wow. So I used to go to like Pakistani restaurants in Saudi. Oh man, food.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I know part of what you're talking about because unfortunately I haven't had the whole range of it, but I'm sure your mom would be making some amazing stuff.
So she's from Karachi. My mother's from Karachi. I was born in a place called as Aurangabad in Maharashtra. That's pretty close to Pune. You ever heard of Ajanta and Ellora caves?
Yes.
So yes, the city adjoining to it. That is Aurangabad. I was born over there. We stayed in Mumbai for like 13 years. Then the riots of Bombay happened.
Oh.
My father had a small factory wherein they used to manufacture photo albums. If you remember, as a child, you would get these Konica and Kodak film rolls.
Right, yeah.
Right? You would then develop those film rolls in a laboratory.
lab.
Correct? Once when you would be leaving the laboratory, you would get a free photo album along with the photographs. Those photo albums used to be manufactured by us. By my father in Bombay. He used to have a small setup in Worli.
Okay.
Unfortunately, during the riots, first the bomb blast and then the riots, the entire setup got burned.
Was it arsony or?
Maybe. My father hasn't still delved all the details. He just said that everything is now just lost. But every problem does present an opportunity. So he got the opportunity to come down to Goa by a person called as Mr. Abdullah Fazl Bhai. Mr. Abdullah Fazl Bhai was the owner of, at that time, a company called as Photophone Industries Private Limited. They were the sole importers of Konica film rolls in India. Okay, so that's how he offered my father being a graphic designer, he offered my father to come down to Goa and to start off with the printing and an advertising based unit. We came to Goa. My father started off with a company called as Highmark India Private Limited. We used to have a factory in Pillai Industrial Estate. And that went on pretty well. This was, we came in the year 1993. Then after that, Highmark was, I think, born in 1997.
Okay, may I interrupt you a bit?
Tell me.
You mentioned the Mumbai riots.
Yes.
So for those who don't know what happened in the Mumbai riots, can you brief us on that?
Well, Babri Masjid was demolished. The after effects of it were seen in Mumbai over here. One of the reasons possibly could be because at that time Mumbai was trying to be regained again by the Marathas. Now, Mumbai as a place is populated by a lot of different people, especially the UP guys and the Bihari guys.
Yeah.
Okay. And some of the Maharashtrians did not like that pretty well. Now, at the same time, the Muslims were also increasing. So on one side there was Shiv Sena, on the other side there were the Muslim clerics who were there. Babri Masjid was demolished over there. Some people got angry over here by that particular demolition.
Babri Masjid is in UP.
Babri Masjid is in UP, correct.
Okay. Where in UP?
Ayodhya.
Okay.
So Babri Masjid was claimed at that time. That particular place where the masjid is being claimed as the birthplace of Lord Ram. Okay. And for some reason, Akbar built a masjid over there. God knows for what. And that particular masjid was called as Babri Masjid. So a court order came in that yes, this is the birthplace of Lord Ram and the Babri Masjid has to be demolished. So it was demolished. Something somewhere went wrong and the after effects of it reached Mumbai. Mind you, nothing happened in Ayodhya, nothing happened in Allahabad, nothing happened in all the other adjoining cities, but in Mumbai. To the extent that riots broke out. And the riots were mainly between the Hindus and the Muslims out there. We felt the after effects of it because we were staying at that time in a Hindu dominated area, but extremely lucky, I do still remember this, that some of the Hindus used to sit down at our building because in the night people would just come in with their talwars and their guns and all, and they were on a killing spree.
You know,
but we were protected by the Hindus out there.
So basically these were religious riots.
True. Now the worst part after that was, after the riots broke out, one of the persons who was badly affected was Tiger Menon and his family. Okay, and he was a rich fellow. So he decided to do something about it in his own understanding, in his own manner.
So who's Tiger Menon? What's his
Tiger
background?
Menon was the guy responsible for all the bomb blasts in Mumbai.
Oh. Okay.
This is all as per the movie Black Friday. Okay, and as per the cases laid down. So he decided to do this and he went ahead with it. But what these people don't realize is that it is the common man at the end of the day who suffers. People like us. Nevertheless, my father got a better opportunity. He shifted over to Goa and Goa is a blissful life.
Yeah.
Since then, we have been over here. I completed my schooling in St. Brito's, then subsequently in St. Xavier's.
So it's very interesting that I met someone like you who was literally affected by the Mumbai riots. I don't know many people who have been affected by it. But I remember a friend of mine was telling me, and where did the riots happen? In which areas of Mumbai?
Everywhere.
Everywhere, huh? Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was like,
Concentrated to a certain area?
No?
No, not exactly. Wherever there would be more of Muslim population, yes, people would be dragged. Wherever there would be more of Hindu population, the Muslims would reach out over there.
I didn't know this. I thought probably I was thinking of Dharavi. But no.
Dharavi was one of the most badly affected areas.
Because I remember a friend telling me that, in which year did this happen?
1993.
Yeah, so a friend told me that he actually witnessed killings and like hackings and
So my
how
own
many people
uncle-
were murdered during the riots? Must have been a crazy, scary
officially or
situation.
unofficially?
Both, if
Unofficially,
you whatever numbers you
unofficially in
have.
thousands. Officially, I think they are claiming in hundreds. But unofficially, definitely in thousands. My own uncle, he was passing from our house in the night, and if you remember, a bike called as Yamaha RX 100.
Yeah,
Super speedy bike.
is famous today also.
Yes, it's like a cult following.
Yeah,
today.
exactly.
A super speedy bike, right? But at the back of his bike, he had his name written Mustafa. So some people saw it and they started running after him. While he was trying to escape, he saw our house on the way, and he came one night of the riots at our house, and I did not know in the night that he had come. In
How
the
old were
morning,
you then?
13. 13. 12 in fact. 13 I became once when I came down to Goa. So in the morning when I saw him, his face was completely red and swollen. He had literally escaped being killed.
So they caught him, beat him up.
They were about to kill him. So that was just one of the things that we had witnessed. Maybe that is why also my father said, Kenny, not possible to live anymore in Mumbai. Although my parents love Mumbai. I love Mumbai still. The kind of city that it is. But still, we had to leave.
So apart from your uncle, were there any friends, relatives that were murdered?
None that my parents have spoken to us about. Maybe they must have not told us about it so that we would not get traumatic. And plus, I also have a younger brother who's 4 years younger to me. So at that time, my younger brother was just about 8 years old. So maybe because
No, I
of
mean,
that.
it's very scary because it's a life and death situation.
It is.
It's very
Undoubtedly.
scary.
It is.
Okay, so then you came to Bombay. I mean, you came to Goa. Your father set up a factory in Pilan.
Right.
Okay, then?
And then the business from Konica started going down because of the advent of digital photography.
Yes.
Now, Konica had, it seems, planned out already their own further on business course of action, but unfortunately, Philcop was not able to do it. Vodafone Industries Corporation.
Which is?
So, my father was associated with this company called as Vodafone Industries Limited, whose owner was Mr. Abdullah Fazal Bhai, and they used to import all the Konica film rolls in India, process them in India, put them in packaging, and then resell it. In the year 1997, they had a turnover of, I think, more than 250 crores or so, which at that time was a huge amount.
For Goa?
No, for all over the
okay.
country. Nevertheless, Konica's business started going down the world over. So it was like a domino effect. Vodafone got affected. From Vodafone, Highmark was getting all the business, and we had about 120 people at that time in Highmark. Since Highmark was started getting affected, the business started getting affected. So a lot of layoffs happened. Finally, my father in the year 2003 had to give up his shares in Highmark and had to restart his life again. So that has been quite a sadma for him because he had made this entire company Highmark out of his own sweat and blood.
What is Sadma?
Sadma is like a heart attack, an unbearable attack from which you cannot overcome yourself. You cannot come back again.
So you're saying he could never recover from that?
It still pricks him. after so many years. This thing happened. Finally, he had to leave in the year 2003, and it still pricks him very badly. Even today, if he has to go over to Pillai Industrial Estate, that factory is still there in Pillai Industrial Estate. Now it is overtaken by Kainoko. So whenever he would pass from there, he skips a beat from his heart. Now my father is the kind of a person who is like a military man. He gets up every day at 4:45 in the morning. He will do his namaz, and then after his namaz, he will get into his fitness regime. He's got a whole set of exercises. Then after that, by about 8:30, his breakfast. Then after that, he would get ready for his work. So he doesn't change his routine at all. He is the way that he is. And he's used this particular mantra for his own success in life. When I was born, they always tell me that he barely had a 50 paisa or 1 rupee in his pocket. And yes, those were very tough times. The place also wherein we used to stay in Mumbai. Those were tough times. But he somehow or the other came up in life. And then suddenly, you lose the entire factory, wherein at that particular time more than 100 people were working. Lose that respect all of a sudden. And he was well known within circles. The who's who used to know him at that time. So you suddenly just lose everything, then definitely you will be affected, right?
Yeah.
So it is like quite a slump that you come down at.
So at what age did he lose the factory? At what age were you when he lost the factory?
I think at that time I was 23.
Okay.
I was born in 1980. So yes, 23 at that time. Correct.
So let's talk about him. Like, what did he do after that?
So he then started off with another business called as Four Ways. Now in Four Ways, at that time I was with him then, business.
So
I had then joined him by then. So then we bought a CNC router. A CNC router is the kind of computerized machine wherein you feed the sheet and it just does the cutting, routing, engraving, whatever you want. So this was in the year 2004, I think, that we had bought the machine and we had started working. So it was going on pretty well. The machine was bought on loan. Yes, there were hiccups again. Because after buying the machine, we started thinking, now what is to be done with it?
Oh, okay. Must have been a very expensive machine.
Yes, it was. It was a German machine, directly imported from Germany. So after getting the machines over here, and then along with that particular machine, we had to install a few other things also. Nevertheless, we restarted again with the business. At that time, we were into mementos, awards and trophies. Then slowly and steadily, we started getting into very, very basic signboards. And then me and my father came at some loggerheads. So that was, anyway, that's a different part. You continue with your questions.
No, so I think your life was significantly affected when, from what I remember, you and your father completely split ways.
Yes, we did.
It was that severe.
It was that particularly severe.
And,
My mistake.
If I may ask.
What exactly happened?
Not what exactly happened, but probably prior to that. Your father was very well to do at a certain point of time.
Correct.
Known in all the social circles. You all must have been quite wealthy. How were you?
Decently okay.
Yeah.
I used to have a CBZ at that time, that much I remember.
Yeah.
The first CBZ.
So, were you raised to understand the struggles of life, or were you raised lavishly?
No, I wasn't raised very lavishly. My father was very clear in this, that he will give me whatever I would ask him for it, okay, but to a certain limit. Then he was like, you got to earn the things in your own life. You have to pay for things your own self. You have to go through the struggles that are needed to do things. Because unless and until you do not do that, you don't understand the value of it. If something is continuously being given to you for free, if for example you're hungry on a daily basis at 9 o'clock in the morning and somebody would just come in and feed you on a daily basis, initially you'll be very grateful, but after a while you will start telling him, "Kare yaar, today there was no salt in the potato. please ensure that there is more salt in the potato. Or else, oh, get me some chicken tomorrow. I'm sick and tired of having the same old potato on a daily basis. Now, if that particular person teaches you on how to cook food, wouldn't that be better? So that is exactly what my father did.
Okay, that's good.
So
So,
the kind of training that he gave me, that was amazing. Both my parents, for that matter. My mother started off with a boutique in the year 2004, owing to the financial crunches, by the name of Fashion Mark, which is still there and alive in Santines, wherein she sells Indian and Pakistani outfits. She stitches them and she sells them.
wow,
Yeah.
it's still alive.
It is still
it's-
alive.
Wow, amazing. I got to visit.
Yeah,
So-
if you're in love with Indian outfits, then.
And Pakistani outfits. I mean,
And
that's
Pakistani
amazing.
outfits, correct.
So, since you mentioned the CBZ, I'm kind of going off topic. We actually have a CBZ out there.
The first version.
I don't know. I think so. Because I remember when the CBC came out, it was such a sexy bike, like the curves
The
and
pickup,
bro,
0 to 60 within 5 seconds.
it's such a beautiful bike. It's designed so beautifully, and my cousin had one, so that's why and they had money, so he could have one. But I found it's right outside there. I'll show it to you at the end. But it's such a
Okay.
beautiful bike, and
It
I'm,
was.
I'm sure you were very proud of having it.
Oh yes, definitely, any day.
So then let's get now back to your story with your father. Y'all set up a signage business,
Right.
and then something drastic happened, and you split ways. And that must have been quite drastic. Can I ask you what happened?
We came into loggerheads with each other because of our working styles.
Mm.
So I would be more upfront. I would want to experiment more, wherein he would be more like, "Okay, this is the tried and tested thing to be done, and let's just do that." So that is where the basic difference came in. And our working styles were very different at the same time. He would be organized to the T. I wouldn't be that particularly organized. I would do things more on the spot.
Mm.
So he would not, some of the things he would not like, some of the things I would not like.
Mm.
And that's how then the differences started occurring. Till one fine day, he just said, Kenny, we cannot work anymore together. When he said that, then after that, I had an option with me to continue with this particular business.
How? I mean, it's your father's business,
Yes. it
but in
was
the same line you're saying.
in the same line. So I
If I may ask you,
basically,
how did that affect you?
I was quite screwed mentally.
Why?
One was because it was my own father, and the second reason was the entire years of hard work being put into it. And it wasn't only me who was screwed, it was him also at the same time who was screwed. Both of us were badly affected. Call it our egos, call it whatever. But then we never saw eye to eye again, and we never worked together again
Till now.
till now. But we've got a beautiful relationship now. We have understood that it is important to agree to disagree.
You know, many people, like I personally know people who've been very affected by rejection from parents. And I think you went through that.
Yes.
And when you spoke at that Pecha Kucha, I could see that, it still affected you.
Sometimes it
Because a father figure is like, it's my father. And he's saying no to me. And he is saying, I don't want to have anything to do with you when it comes to work.
only
I'm
when
sure-
it comes to work. Nothing at all personally, even till today. Yesterday we were there together, right? Yesterday we were there together. Correct.
And then after that, from what I understood, you went through quite a financially tumultuous time.
Yes. So then he gave me an option of buying out the entire factory. But then he said, okay, you got to arrange for the money yourself. I'm not going to give you anything, which he was right upon. If I had to do something in my own life, then definitely I had to take up a stand for it. So yes, I arranged for the money. I paid him off over there, and I bought the entire factory.
Where was the factory now?
It is still there in Mapsa. So what happened was...
Industrial area?
No, this is not in the industrial area. This is in a place called as Dattakrupa Complex. So we used to stay over there only earlier. We used to stay on the top, and below used to be the factory. We had made it in that way so that it is good for us, so that we could come down to work at any time, because at that time work used to happen in 2 shifts, from 9 to 6, and then I think from 6 o'clock till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the night. Nevertheless, after this happened, I started off on my own, but I made a few mistakes in my cash flow. So I made a few mistakes in my cash flow. My losses accumulated to up till 30 lakhs. One fine day, one of my friends just came over to my factory, and she said to me, she's a business consultant herself. So she said to me, okay, Mujtaba, till the time you do not decide right now to shut off your business, I'm not moving out from here. And she said, give it to me in writing right away. She made me realize where exactly I was going wrong and why I had to just shut down my business. She said, give a call to all your creditors. Tell them that you'll be paying them the money. Assure them about that. But at this point of time, shut it down immediately. Uske baad mein, then you decide what is to be done further on in your life. But for this moment, shut it. So then I shut it down.
Why did you shut it? Were the outflows way too high compared to the income?
Yes, they had become, and it was becoming non-manageable then.
Like, if you were to know this information that you know today, what would you have done differently?
I would have managed my cash flow very well.
So be specific, like what exactly in your cash flow went wrong?
So when you are making payments to other people, so for example, if you're getting an order, in very simple baniya terms, you know how baniyas they operate.
Yeah.
If they get an order, okay, they would utilize that money only for that particular order and not for anything else. Whatever money then remains after the utilization for that particular order, then they would use it for all the other expenses. I wasn't managing that part very well.
Okay.
So what I used to do, from here the money has come in, okay, fine. This particular creditor is shouting right now, pay it off to him. Oh, this particular expense has just come in, okay, fine, let's just take care of it right now. That way I was going about it. Rather without any proper financial planning. So this is why I guess Baniyas and Rajasthani people, they are so important, because they know, it's like ingrained in them how to manage money.
Really?
Oh yes.
I didn't know that.
You take a look at any one of these Rajasthani people who have opened up either a general store or else an electrical store or something or the other, even in Goa currently. Within 2 years, they will have multiple shops. Just within 2 years. It is only because they are able to manage everything very well. Manage their money very well.
Okay.
So that is something to be learned. It's like an Israeli. Israelis are supposed to be very good in maths. So I've even heard that the Israeli mother would start talking about maths, or would start going through formulas in maths as a part of their ritual when the baby is inside the stomach.
Yeah, I've heard about that as well.
Just to communicate it. Right. So it is that way. Baniyas, Marwadis, they are very well trained when it comes over to money. So I understood these things quite later on in my life. And these are basic things. These are basic things today. That if you're getting an advance for one particular order, use that money first for that particular order. Then after that, whatever money is remaining, then you start using it for all your other expenses. I was like, okay, fine. Orders are just coming in. Money is just flowing in. So I went into that flamboyancy. Money, paisa aa raha hai na, aane do. Paisa to aa raha hai. Lakhon rupe aa rahe. Lakhs of rupees are coming in. Aane do. Let's have some fun. Let's not get into the management of it. So initially, those 4-5 months were damn good. Then after that, the problems started occurring. So anyway, then I had to shut down the company. And then a lot of things had become overwhelming in my life.
So now you owed 30 lakhs to creditors.
Yes. Relationship with my father was in doldrums. Relationship between us was getting in doldrums.
Your wife and you.
Yes. I already had 2 kids by then. Malikul Ashtar word had also come in. My younger son. The next best thing that I had to do was then get into therapy.
Oh, so it really affected your mental state.
Yes, it did. So there was a therapist called as Aisha Sharma, and she used to be a good friend earlier also. So I got in touch with her then. And I started getting into therapy. Now, once when I started getting into therapy,
So
I realized
can you tell me, how did you recognize that you needed therapy, and why did you get into therapy? Because not a lot of people do. You know, people still go through stuff, and maybe yours was extreme. Can you tell us what happened that made you realize I need help?
If you like these conversations, make sure to hit the subscribe button. It helps us a lot. Hit that bell button to get notification when anything new happens, because season 2 is going to be rolling out fast. Now let's get back to the interview.
Can you tell us what happened that made you realize I need help?
So I would be just sitting in my room, closed, and just staring at the skies. I used to read quite a lot, right from the beginning, right from the time when I was small. Maybe that must have helped me to realize that, okay, fine, you need help.
No, you used
Reach
to look
out
at
to
the
help.
skies and what?
Do nothing. For hours and hours, I would be just looking out of the window, out of lying down in my bedroom, and do nothing. So the worst thing is always that if you have a problem and you sit on that problem, it settles in.
What do you mean?
I was just not doing anything for the next 6 months after shutting down my company.
Oh, so for 6 months.
Yes, I was just, okay, theek hai, fine, we will see what is going to be happening. And I was just not ready to even accept it. It took me about 3 months to finally shut off everything, return back a few of the amounts of a few of the clients, get the orders done, etc. Pay off all my people who were working
Your
with
staff.
me, my staff. And then for about after that another 3 months, I was not doing anything. I was just there at home.
And you were a father of 2 by then.
Yes, I was a father of 2 by then.
And what was like your wife's condition? What was she saying it to you? Because no woman likes to see
She
that
could
happening
bear
to the
it
family.
till the time that she could bear it. Then of course finances affect everybody, money affects everybody.
Money, your needs to come in.
Now at that particular time, my parents were taking care. My brother was taking care of things. I'm very grateful to them for that, no matter what happened between me and my father. But then still, they did take care of everything. They did not come in and tell me, "Nahi, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for that." They just understood, "Okay, theek hai, fine, there's a problem that has happened and it has to be taken care of." Now, why did I undergo therapy? I was in touch with Aisha earlier also. And she used to tell me a lot of things. Aisha had become a good friend. So she used to tell me a lot of things about how human behavior works. I don't know whether my wife told me about this or my father told me about this. I really don't know that who must have suggested this to me. But one fine day, I ended up meeting her again informally. And I told her everything. And she put me across various kinds of therapy lessons. Now, therapy takes time. Therapy takes time. It is not some sort of a magic trick that will happen overnight.
Therapy takes time.
Therapy takes time. And it is an arduous process. It is not a process that one can go through very easily, simply because layers start getting unfolded when you're undergoing therapy. So the first layer might be the creamiest layer, but just like how in a lasagna you have the hardest layers probably below, okay, or the hardest part of the meat probably below. It is exactly the same thing over here. So unwrapping layer by layer keeps on happening. Now, why I decided to undergo therapy was because I knew that there is something wrong with me. I just knew it. I did not know what exactly was wrong. Why was I behaving the way that I was behaving? I would be depressed the whole day. My wife would be sick and tired of me. I would not be spending any time with my kids. And the whole burden of shame had actually come on her. The whole burden of shame should have been on me, because it was me who had created those mistakes, right? As the man of the house, it is supposed to be my responsibility to take care of some certain things. As the woman of the house, it is supposed to be her responsibility to take care of some certain things. Now, she was already doing that duty. She was taking care of the house, she was taking care of the kids. What about me? So, any woman would put up with you for about a few months. Then, after that, her own frustrations would come up. It is normal human nature, correct? So that is what happened between us also, to start creating a very major rift. And we would never fight. We would never raise our voices. We would just shut off, both of us. Even today also, it is the same thing. If there is some problem, maybe I might be a little bit vocal about it. Okay, she will tell me a few things, but then we would just shut off. And that's an indication between the two of us that something is wrong.
So you said she took the shame. How did that happen? What do you mean?
She had started acting more and more responsibly. She had started playing my part also. She had started with a job at that time. She was working for a reflexologist at that time. She would try and cheer me up the whole day. She would try and take me out to meet people, etc. But still, it wouldn't help me. Still, in the most happiest of the situations also, I would be sad. Today, when we take a look at those photographs also, I still have a very sad face with me. So when I started undergoing therapy, I realized that there were a lot of wrongs that as a person I was myself doing. Now, as a businessman, I had gone wrong. As a husband, I had gone wrong. As a son, I had gone wrong. And Aisha put all those things in front of me. She didn't make me realize that situations would be bad, but it is upon us on how we act upon it and move further. Right? So if you act correctly upon it, if you act faster upon a problem, and if you act correctly upon a problem, the chances of the problem getting reduced become far, far, far better than the chances of them growing. She made me realize on all these things. She went deeper and deeper with me. She tried different sorts of techniques, crystal, hypnotherapy, Reiki, different sorts of techniques to make me talk more and more. She did all of that, and this thing went on for about 6 months, I think, at least.
So now, from when you lose your business, 6 months you were at home completely depressed. Then 6 months of therapy. And you were not working this time at all?
I was trying to do some odd jobs here and there.
Is this the time you became like a Swiggy?
This podcast is sponsored by Creative Studio Goa. If you want to shoot your own podcast, we got everything here for you. Cameras, audio, lights, a soundproof space, and it's located right in the middle of Porvorim, right on the highway, very accessible. And for you who want to create your own podcast, get in touch with us. We can sort everything out just for you.
Is this the time you became like a Swiggy?
No, this was a little after that. So one fine day, my brother, he just told me this. He said, look, bhai, you have been trying out a lot of things, but things are just not probably working. Correct? And you need to put your mind at peace first. So this is just something, would you want to just try it out? Now, I come from a very influential background. Okay. And I just went in for it. I just went because I could not think at that particular time, what is to be done.
You went in for what?
I went in to become a Swiggy driver. Just to put my mind at ease, so that my mind would be occupied. Now, before doing that, my father came up with a name called as vada. And the whole idea was to sell different sorts of vada paos. He discussed it with my wife. My wife also liked that particular idea. So we used to make vada paos at home. I would go in the morning to different shops in Mapsa, and then subsequently in the market of Mapsa, carry about 200 vada paos with me and sell them in the morning. My wife would get up at about 5 o'clock in the morning and she would start preparing those vada paos. I would go to the market by about 7 in the morning, sell them off, come back by about 8, 8:30, and then go in for my Swiggy job. Come back again by about 1:30 or 3:30, something like that. Have my lunch quickly, and then again she would start preparing for the next day. So once when we found that this particular business of vada paos can be done properly, we had an opportunity to put up a well-designed food stall. Now, all my knowledge of signboards and those kind of things I put into it, and we made a stall called as Vada Wow. Now, this was all after going through therapy. Therapy, one thing definitely happened, it put my confidence back again little by little. Confidence that I had lost in my own self. It helped me to put it back again. That no matter whatever happens in life, just keep on moving forward. I don't even remember what all happened with me during therapy. Past life regression was also one of the things, correct?
What's that?
It's not a religious belief. Are you a very religious guy, if I may ask?
I would say I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. I believe in a relationship.
Great. So that's the same thing with me. So in past life regression, what happens is, it is believed that before this particular incarnation, we used to have other lives also. As per the books of therapy, let's not talk about religion out here. As per the books of different sorts of therapy. So in my past life, whatever has happened will also be affecting me in this particular life. There's supposed to be a particular theoretical relation towards it.
So you started Vada Wow.
Yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
Me and my wife, we both started off with Vada Wow. And Vada Wow, in the morning we would go and sell Vada Pavs in the market. And then in the afternoon by about 3 o'clock or so, we would go down to the stall, set it up, and we would come back by about 10:30 in the night after shutting it down. So over here we would sell different sorts of Vada Pavs.
I think Goa solely lacks good Vada Pav culture,
Yeah,
man.
it does.
I'm a
today.
Mumbai guy as well, man. Mumbai
So
Vada
you
Pav
know
is
exactly
so
what I'm talking about. It's like you suddenly have a craving one day. 3 days back, I had a craving for a vada pav. I even told one of my friend, Kunal Arolkar,
Yeah.
to get me a vada
I can
pav.
recommend one Vada Pav place in Mapsa. You know, on the way up to Court Circle on the left hand side, right before Yes Bank.
There's a Yes Bank in Mapsa. Wait, where's the Yes Bank in Mapsa? Court Circle. Court Circle, but then there's no
So
Yes Bank.
okay,
There's
from you're at
HDFC
Court,
Bank.
you're at Court Circle. You go down towards Mapsa,
Okay.
down the slope.
Okay.
Then on your right hand side, there's a Yes Bank. On your left hand side, there's a turn towards, Market Road.
Okay, that side you're talking about. Fine.
No, not that side. Right after Yes Bank on the right hand side,
Okay.
just go a little ahead. There's a small vada pav shop, and they're the only place which gives nice red chutney
and the green chutney
and the fried
chilies.
chilies. Oh man, thinking about it, my mouth is watering. But anyway, let's go on.
So over here we used to sell different sorts of vada pavs,
Okay.
about 8 different types. So we had invented Shezwan vada pav, we had invented a fried noodles vada pav, we had invented a cheese cucumber vada pav, we had invented a masala vada pav, we had invented a butter masala vada pav,
Wow,
a regular
sounds
vada
so
pav,
good.
and which other name did I miss out? A butter cheese, yes, a butter cheese masala vada pav. That used to be a full loaded thing.
Yeah.
So the price ranges were from 25 rupees till 80 rupees. It seemed to be picking up. We were not at least making any losses in it. And then the biggest bop of them all, COVID happened. So the first wave was still fine. Somehow or the other we went through it.
And at this time you had a physical store.
Yes.
You had rented out a shop,
Yes.
done it up,
Done
and
it
people
up,
would come.
invested money. This wasn't even a shop. It was actually a glorified thela. You know what's a thela?
Kind of.
Great. So this was just a well-designed thela, a size of about 8 feet by 4 feet. Correct.
Okay.
And in that, the cooking would happen. And we had given it a whole theme of red and yellow. And with a nicely lit up sign and all that. So all of that happened. But had to shut down Vada Pav again. So this was another failure. Had to shut down Vada because of COVID. So again, whatever struggles that me and my wife had put into it, all gone to waste.
It must
But
be
it-
so, what can I say? Like to go from one failure to,
To
the
the
another,
other, to
to
the
another.
other, to another.
It's like constantly like a hammer hitting on your head. You are a failure. You are a failure. You are a
So
failure.
the rate of success in anything in life is supposed to be not more than 15%.
Hmm.
And 85% of the times you have to fail. But unless and until you don't do that, you will not be able to recognize what is success. I'm sure that is the same thing that has happened with you also, Ryan. So failure is like a part of life. Get over it and just
But
move
that's your theory right now.
on. It wasn't.
When Vada failed, you must have not had this theory.
So when Vada failed, and before we were supposed to be thinking about what is to be done, at that time I even got a job.
Wait, let me ask you, like, from your wife's perspective, women take things differently than we do. What was she going through? Because she had now gotten into the business. She worked so hard as well, along with you, by your side.
She was devastated. For a woman, her husband and her kids, for an Indian woman, her husband and her kids are supposed to be very important. Okay. And she could not see the best of the upbringing happening for her own kids. And that used to be devastating for her. Forget about her own well being for the moment, just keep aside her own well being. But for her own kids, she could not see the best of the things happening.
Meaning, what, financially?
Financially, of course, financially. Right from the basic clothes to getting them better education, to even many a times going out and just to have a simple meal outside. I could not afford that. It would be a rare thing to have 100 rupee in my pocket at that time. It would be a rare thing. So, we'd be counting every 50 rupees that we used to have.
Wow.
We had come down to that particular situation. So, only to keep our minds alive, we were doing what we were doing just to go through it. But yes, if you have you keep on hitting the hammer on the nail, tuck, 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 and one fine day it will penetrate the wood and it will go inside. It will do its job. So that is exactly what has happened with us now. Over the past 2 years, after so many years,
What has happened?
things have become much better. We are having a much better life. Yes, my own loans.
Wait, let's
Sorry.
we'll take it a step at a time. So,
Okay.
what about failed? That was a big impact for you once again and your wife.
Right.
How did you go through COVID?
So I got a call when Vada was going on at that time to be a part timer for a logistics company who was planning to start off their logistical arm in Goa. So there's this company called as Hop First. So their job is they rent out trucks and they give it across to their clients for their transportation needs. So they had one such client in Goa and they wanted somebody to handle it as a part timer. And for a part timer, also, they were paying me a pretty decent salary. I spoke to my wife about it. When I spoke to her, she said, Mujtaba, right now you take it up. Just take it up because the money will be at least fixed income will be coming in.
Yeah. And
That's what
sometimes
we really
fixed
need.
income is so much peace of mind,
It is. At that particular time, it was. It was definitely. So I started off as a part-timer and I ended up as a full-time customer relationship manager. I started off as an executive with them and I ended up as a CRM with them. I worked, I think, for 2.5 years, somewhere like that, approximately. Before I had quit that particular job, because by then I had my own confidence and I knew it. Now I can move further on. So before I had quit that particular job, I had started off with my signboard business little by little. Again, That was something that I knew pretty well how it is to be done. So I went over one fine day to the Mapsa market, and you get those daily wage laborers from there, right? I picked them up. And before I picked them up, I went out to the market and I got a few orders. The only thing that I'm born with is a good tongue. That's my only strength right now that I have. Use that. I use that to my own needs.
You got the gift of the gab.
I got the gift of the gab. Absolutely correct. So yes, I got a few orders, and that's how again
You got a
restarted.
few signboard orders.
Yes.
Signboard you're talking about.
Signboard orders, correct. I got a few orders. I went down to the market, picked up a few people. 2 people, in fact, to be precise. 2 people. One welder and one helper. Because in a signboard business, we need a fabricator also.
Okay.
So one welder and a helper. I would make all the designs. And I started off again from there. So far, over the past 2 years, this thing has been going on pretty well. And now it is increasing. Talking about more and more failures.
No, we don't have to talk about failures now.
Thank God.
This is not the failure theme podcast.
I've forgotten about that.
Yeah, this is not Pecha Kucha. So, now that you've gone through so many things, you must have learned so many lessons. So many lessons in your life. If I may ask, what are the top 3 lessons that you learned?
Number 1, if there is any problem that has arisen, take up the responsibility, even if it has not come up because of you. Take up the responsibility for it and start resolving it. You might not be connected to that problem. You might not be
The reason for that problem.
You might not be the reason for that problem, but if you are getting affected by it, whatever it is, financially, emotionally, however you're getting affected by it, take up the onus on your own self and start resolving it before it settles down. The minute you are able to foresee, okay, there is going to be a problem, start resolving it before that only. The second thing is, no matter whatever the situation, the mistake is always yours. And the third thing, change is the only constant in life. These 3 things hit me hard, but it is helping me at the same time. Never ever care for what people think. They will always think. People are not going to come and put money in your pocket for your own family. You have to fend for your own self. So yes, these are the 3 things.
Awesome. So now we're going to go into the small thing before we get back into the second part of the interview. It's called the Tandoor round.
Okay.
Okay. And the Tandoor round, basically, I designed it in a way to help the audience connect with my guest.
Okay.
In a more intimate way. Okay.
Okay.
So what's special about the Tandoor round is that the questions get hotter and hotter as the time passes by. All right. Are you ready for it?
Righto. Oh boy, you got a whole sheet prepared for it.
Not too many questions.
Okay.
All right. The first question is, Mujtaba, what's your favorite dish?
Guys, if you want to be interviewed by me on the Creative Genesis podcast, I've shared that email below. That email is strictly for business only. So get in touch and we are open.
All right. The first question is, Mujtaba, what's your favorite dish?
Honestly, I've forgotten. I used to be an extremely hard foodie. Okay. And I used to have a lot of nakhras when it came to food. But after going through failures, now even dal chawal is amazing for me. Still my favorite food. In fact, the other day my kids asked me and they said, Baba, we still don't know what is your favorite food. And even I was thinking, what is exactly my favorite food?
But I love that you say that. After what you've gone, even dal chawal you're grateful for.
Yes. American chop suey. Yes, I used to love American chop suey.
Okay. Looks like you haven't had it in a while.
No, I haven't had it in a while. When was the last time that we had? More than a year back. And you know what? American chopsticks used to be made by these small Chinese joints.
Yeah.
You
The
would
street
hardly
carts.
the street guys. You would hardly find a good American chopstick in these high-end restaurants.
Yeah, that's so
Over
true.
there, you would only find the nasi goreng, or else the pad thai, or else the sushis and all those things. When it comes over to Japanese cuisine,
Yeah.
but never ever an American chopstick.
Okay, interesting.
Most
But
people
especially
hate
in
it,
Bombay.
though.
I don't think in
yes.
Goa, like, I don't know.
American chopstick, you'll find it in every thela out there.
Yeah, exactly. Bombay, I miss the Bombay food, man. See, I'm
Now,
literally
yeah,
I'm
same here,
salivating.
same here. So you know what? In Muhammad Ali Road, okay, Muhammad Ali Road, there is. I'm basically a Daudi Bohra. I'm a Bohri Muslim.
Okay, Bori. I know Bori.
Great. So
So y'all wear like those flowery, the
yes,
women wear.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. We are all being asked to dress in white.
Yes.
Okay, so we have something called as a saya kurta pajama. It's like a 3-piece suit, but it's a pretty long one that we have with
Talking
us.
about the men or the women?
For the man.
Okay.
For the man. So where we have a dargah in Bombay called as and there's a masjid out there called as Saifi Masjid. Yes, Saifi Masjid. So opposite to Saifi Masjid, for about 40 or 50 years maybe, there is this chana bateta wala. His chana bateta, you know what's a chana bateta?
Yeah.
Great. So his chana bateta is still to die for.
I'm sure, man, because first there's chana and there's then batata, which is not very flavorful, but the stuff they add
believe
to it.
me, and then they put in caramelized onions on it,
Whoa.
pudina, pyaz, tomato, and the gravy in it, although being spicy, but it is so tasty, and the rate, I think it is still sold for about 30 or 35 bucks,
Wow.
and he must be selling nothing less than 2,000 plates a day.
Amazing. Okay. You know, I love Muslim food, and I still have to find a really good place, you know, where the food is nice and oily. And
I can tell you so many in Bombay.
yeah, in Bombay, I'm sure, man. I used to go to Bandra station and go to these the small shops and have beja fry and all that. So
Arre.
good, so good.
You
Anyway,
ever
let's-
had a mutton kebab pav for 20 or 25 rupees?
No.
Oh, you still have it.
But those places have shut, no, in Bandra?
I don't know about Bandra, buddy, like in Muhammad Ali Road and that
Oh, yeah.
side. And if you go during Ramadan out there,
Oh.
for the entire night, they are busy.
Okay, let's not talk about food anymore. Okay, so let's get to the next question.
Yes.
What's your favorite musical genre? Like, what do you like to listen to?
I don't have any favorite genre with me. But yes, A.R. Rahman, I love him over anybody else's music. I love A.R. Rahman. I love the words of Gulzar.
Gulzar, who's Gulzar? Sorry for my
Gulzar-
ignorance.
That's okay, don't worry. So Gulzar Sahab is a poet, and he writes for Hindi cinema,
Okay.
and he's got some amazingly well written stuff with him. He must be about 80 years old now,
Okay.
but he still continues with this.
Wow.
So he's worked with the likes of R.D. Burman
Mm-hmm.
and people before him,
Mm-hmm.
and now even with the present musicians.
Mm-hmm.
He still works with them, and he's won a lot of awards. I think he was a part of Slumdog Millionaire also. I
Okay.
think it was him who had penned down all the lyrics for Slumdog Millionaire. So yes, I'm more towards Hindi music now. Earlier I was into English music, but somehow or the other I lost the connection. You know, music is something that you should feel along with it.
Yeah.
I still love some of the songs from Coke Studio, and MTV used to have some sort of a mashup earlier. I can't remember the name now. Based on the lines of Coke Studio only.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been a couple of East Indian bands like Strings,
Mm-hmm.
whom I really love, and Jal, whom I really love. So yes.
Classy music.
Not exactly classy, but yes,
No,
it
I
is
mean,
comfort to me.
Coke Studio has
Coke Studio,
done
yes.
some
Yeah,
amazing
The
stuff.
latest one, Kalasi, if you must have heard.
I haven't heard it.
Okay, you should hear that. It's a Gujarati song. So forget about the lyrics, but then the tune and the way the song is developed, it is amazing.
Yeah,
It is amazing.
amazing. You know, Mujtaba, you have gone through ups and downs.
Yes.
And I really value reading books.
Correct.
Is there a business book that you would recommend to people?
This might be a bit odd. It could be actually The Secret.
Mm.
And the second one possibly could be The Alchemist. Now, these are both. Secret is, of course, not a story. They have laid down some foundation about how the law of attraction works. Alchemist is definitely a story. But what is business all about? Business is all about, apart from the fact to make money, it is a struggle to achieve something so that you can make money. And that is what it all talks about out here, if you are able to relate to it pretty well. Currently, I'm reading a book on managers for the past 3 to 4 months. It is, what is the name of the book? It is written down by a lot of excerpts taken over from Baiju, from the CEO of ICICI, and quite a few other people, including Mr. Anand Mahindra also. But I can't remember the name of the book.
Okay, fair enough. What about self-development? I think self-development is key to anybody getting into business or
Correct.
to becoming anything in life. You have to first develop yourself. So, what self-development book would you recommend?
Anything written by Dale Carnegie. Believe me, anything written down by Dale Carnegie. I've gone through a lot of other kind of books, but whatever he puts down, they are so simple and so relatable. Although I think he had written down these books about 70 or 80 years back, possibly.
Yeah.
But still, how to win friends and influence people is still a very handy book that can be implemented anywhere.
So true.
And all his other books.
Yeah,
Which
he's
is
a
why
brilliant
He was
author.
a brilliant guy. And simple, understandable. These days I'm trying to understand Ikigai. So I'm still trying to answer all the questions. I haven't still answered all the questions in Ikigai, but I'm still trying to understand it.
So you'd recommend that book as well?
Yes.
Okay.
But Ikigai moreover as your way of life. What the Japanese they talk about.
Yeah.
So if you are able to fill in all those questions pretty well, then it makes your life very purposeful. I believe you have already found the purpose of your own life with this podcast that you're doing free of cost for the society currently, right? Just to give back something to the society. So you have more or less found your Ikigai.
In a way.
It should be a mix of everything together, right? We always say that work is life. It is not true. I understood that. Me and my wife understood that after many struggles, that work is not the only thing in life.
I truly believe that.
The Goan term of Suchegad, what according to you is the meaning of it?
So I don't know if you know, but we started a whole podcast
I know.
Susegad musings.
Yes.
So we've discussed this a lot, but what is Susegad? I think, you were talking about the Marwadis being so excellent at business. In fact, just yesterday I was talking about how Goans cannot compete with Marwadis, because Marwadis come in, they will keep their shop open for maybe like 12 to 14 hours a day.
Work is life.
Yeah, for them,
ambition.
Life is just work.
Yes.
Okay, they have extremely low, lifestyle expenses.
Correct.
They'll like 10 people live in one house.
Correct.
I don't know. I mean, probably exaggerating. Their lifestyle expenses are so low, right?
Correct.
So their profits can be very small, and they can destroy all the other businesses. Goan own businesses.
Absolutely.
Why? Because Goans have higher lifestyle expenses. They want to dress well. They want to go out for a party. They want to have a drink. They want to enjoy themselves. And I was saying to this friend of mine, Goans can never compete. But he said something. See, I think as Goans, it's a good thing that for us, money is not everything.
Precisely. Correct.
It is a good thing that, we know how to live. We know how to value
Enjoy
other things in life.
Yes.
Because he's like, I've gone to some Marwadis places. They're very well to do. You go to their house, they have an absolute, you sit on the floor and have simple
Food.
food and
Yes.
simple cutlery and
Correct.
so basic, And yes, I do agree that money is useful and valuable. Everybody wants money. But living well is also important.
So what I have understood what Sushegad is, it basically means quality of life. As in, you have your own work, you have your own time for your friends, you have your own time for your family, you have your own time for your social work. Everything put in together to make a wholesome life.
Yeah.
And that is what makes a difference. That is the reason why we love Goa so much. Why we are out from the rat race of Mumbai and Delhi and cannot even imagine. Maybe we could just go and live over there for a week or so. But beyond that, it is not possible. I'll start missing my own friends, my own family. My wife will start missing her own friends and her family.
Yeah, I was just talking on the podcast also on Susegad. I was saying that if I was in Bombay, I probably would have never started this podcast, Creative Genesis. Because you have to run from place to place and just run.
Exactly. And run for what? For something which is paper?
So yeah, Susegad,
Fine.
people
It does
look
offer.
at Susegad also in a bad way. But
Yes, they do. But then those people haven't understood that Sushegad actually means quality of life. It doesn't mean laziness. They call us Govans lazy. Fine. They are happy in calling us lazy. Fair enough. We know exactly how we are living our lives better.
Yeah.
You can't imagine, as you rightfully said, you can't imagine to do this thing at this time, which is 7:45 in the evening in Mumbai.
No way.
People would be leaving their offices now and then getting stuck in the trains for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
Reaching back home again by 10 o'clock and then again leaving their houses by 6:37 in the morning.
So true. All right. Now, let's go to the next question.
Sure.
Mujtaba, what are the type of people you like to be around?
Can I be honest?
Be honest.
I hate bitchy people. I keep
People
away
who
from
complain.
them. No, who just keep on talking behind other people's backs. Absolute bitchiness.
Yeah.
I hate people who are not straightforward.
Mm.
Who will try to sugarcoat things while telling you something. Okay, in the name of constructive feedback. If you can be open, you can be upfront, and if you talk from your heart about something that you do not like in that other person, the other person does understand.
But don't you think you have to also be sensitive and in telling people? Because I'll tell you, I'll be honest. I'm a very upfront person. And the problem with me is my tone of voice and everything becomes too upfront.
Correct.
I need to, many people have told me, Ryan, you need to speak more softly, more understanding and, frame it a little different. Maybe sometimes I rub off wrong on people. I'm too, I don't know what to say.
I completely understand what you're saying because those are the same things that I get it from other people also. So yes, I did have to tone down my voice. I did have to tone down the way that I was talking to them. But what I did not tone down were my words. So a good friend will always tell you exactly. Like my own wife, she will tell me exactly where I've gone wrong and she will not be sugarcoating it. She will not, the other people will
I
come
don't
in and
think
sugarcoat
wives
it.
need to do that. Don't you think?
Well, earlier in our relationship, we used to do that with each other.
Mm.
We used to sugarcoat things. That's where later on we found out things were going wrong. Might as well just sit down with the other person. Jo bolna hai bolo. Sit down with the other person Okay, come in face to face. Tell that other person, okay, tell your own husband or your own wife, okay, we need to talk. And in a nice manner, you just start off with the conversation. 95% of the times, the other person will listen.
Yeah. I mean, I've also got some hard knocks from my wife, but I found them very, very constructive. Excellent. I like that. I think though there needs to be a little balance. Sometimes even if I want to say something to a person in a very hard way, I have to think a lot more. Okay, next question. Can you recall a time where someone said something to you and you were really hurt?
Oh, lot of times. Lot of times.
What comes to mind?
Especially before my therapy. So I'm completely changed. It's like before the therapy person, and now after the therapy person. So now if I know it that the other person is right, okay, I just shut up and I accept it. If I know it that the other person is wrong over here, and it is still not how do I put this, and it is still not going to be affecting me as in it is still not going to be
It's
changing.
immaterial. Yeah.
It's immaterial.
Yeah.
And if I know it, okay, theek hai, fine, he is wrong, all right, according to him I am the one who's wrong, fair enough, agree to just disagree, shake hands over it and move on.
That's wisdom.
No, I
No,
just
it is
don't want to
wisdom.
get into depression again.
Yeah, wisdom is knowing which battles to fight and which not
battles not to fight. Absolutely correct. Rather than making your battles a war, keep them as a battle only, cease fire and move on. Why take the trouble?
to. But can you name one incident?
Recently, so one of my ex-girls, she told me something very
You mean ex-girlfriend?
yes,
Okay.
she told me something very upfront and blatantly. I wanted to help her in some parts of her business, and she just told me, look, if you want to talk to me as a friend, it is great, okay, but you should not be giving me any advice on business, especially after whatever failures you've had. I just shut up at that time. I just said, theek hai, fine, I understand what you're saying, let's just move on. It was hurtful because it reprimanded me again of my past. At the same time, she was also right. It wasn't that she was wrong. She was also right. So yes, this was about 4-5 months back. I haven't even told my wife about this. I suddenly recollected it, that I haven't even shared this with my own wife. But yes.
Are there like two burning holes in your head and your eyes somewhere?
No, they are already mended. Surgery has already gone through it.
Why I'm saying is because his wife is sitting right
Yeah.
here.
So for the people who do not know these kind of things, you are a married guy yourself, right? So we have got 2 ears with us, correct? Now I believe so. Okay, there is a rod connected between the 2 ears, and it's a nice stainless steel rod without having any obstruction.
Okay.
And we as men have the ability to take things from one ear and to take it out directly from the other ear.
But the wise people can actually filter out what is good and keep it inside and
Yes.
throw out what is bad.
Correct. Over here, the context is marriage.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, I can imagine that could hurt
Good.
when someone basically says, "Boss, what are you talking? You've gone
Exactly.
through so much failure. Don't teach me."
Correct.
That's what basically happened.
Correct.
Okay, understand. Tell me something. Now, who are the people you like being around?
Number one, anybody from BNI. Any good understanding person from BNI.
Okay.
I'll be serious. It has helped me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have a good network today because of BNI. 35 to 40% of my business in the last year came through BNI.
Okay.
So that's a good thing, right?
Absolutely.
And that philosophy of givers gain, if anybody else has also got it. So then, yes, definitely, why not? But I'm now aging. I'm already 43, and it is difficult to find good friends now.
So true. So true.
People just get filtered out of your life, and the few of them who will remain with you, maybe they might remain with you till the time then you're 80 or so. So it's just 3 or 4 of them. Earlier there used to be 40 and 50. Now it is just 3 or 4. So yes, I would like to find more like-minded people like me, who can be insane also sometimes, rather than being serious all the time, and with whom I can just connect over a nice conversation. I'm not the kind of guy who would like to go to clubs and all of that and dance over there. Rather, I would prefer to have a conversation, a heart-to-heart conversation across the table, just like how we are doing it now.
Yeah. I've also spoken about this before. It is difficult to make friends after a certain age.
Correct.
For
Because
me,
you don't want the bullshit.
yeah, also, see, like, for me, I left my life in Bombay. I grew up there. Most of my friends are from Bombay. I came to
Okay.
Goa. I got married. And anyway, after you get married, like, your entire life changes, right?
True that.
And then the people of Goa are different. The people of Bombay are different. I am different. And it's tough, man. It's
Which part of
really-
Bombay?
Borivali.
Oh,
Yeah. But I mean, I've been all over the place. I was in Russia for 2 years. Yeah, I was in Russia. Then I was in Tamil Nadu for 4 years studying engineering.
seriously, the food over there is amazing.
Yeah, some things are amazing. I like this kottu parota, and they made this amazing
You like
street
kottu
food.
parota?
I love it.
Oh, great.
But I don't know what this dish is called. Basically, it's on a hot pan
Okay.
with hot oil, right? They just drop the egg there. They just swirl it out around fast and they put it on your plate. So the outside is sealed, but inside is all liquid of the egg. It's so good, man. It's heavenly.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I haven't found that anywhere else.
Which part of Tamil Nadu?
Coimbatore.
Okay, I'm getting onto YouTube tonight
Yeah.
to check this.
I don't know what it's called also, but I'll
Maybe
ask one of
street
my
food
friends.
of Coimbatore?
I'll find out. I'm still on a group with like all my Coimbatore like friends, so I'll ask. Okay, last question of the tandoor round. What is something that people don't like about you?
Me being upfront and well, actually there could be a lot of things. Yeah, many a times I'm unable to follow time. Like even today, I planned to be over here on time, but I got stuck again in the traffic, and then I had to give you a call and tell you that. So yes, sometimes
No,
people
that's
don't
okay.
like that.
Yeah.
And in business, they would like more and more commitments. So if you move out of your commitment, let's say if it is not 100% and if it is just 99% also, 1% less commitmentness. So that is something that people don't like. When it comes out of business, no matter what the problem, but even if it is 99% and not 100%, then
Yeah.
that is something that people will
Yeah.
hate in general, definitely. And yes, it happens with me too. Apart from that, what else do people don't like me? Man, this question should be asked to my wife, not me.
But okay, so we're done with the tandoor round.
Okay.
But since you talked about your wife, let's probably discuss about that. Because of the things you went through, your marriage nearly ended.
Yes. We drifted apart. We completely drifted apart. And while I was going through the therapy sessions, yes, I did realize it, where exactly I've gone wrong as a husband. But it took years to correct it. Now call it the male ego, call it time getting adjusted, whatever it is, but it took years to correct it. And plus we have the great Indian family around us always.
That interferes.
That's the reason it is a great Indian family.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. So divorce is not very common in Indian society. It's getting more
No.
common today. But what is divorce like in Muslim society?
Technically,
Not technically, but does it happen often? And when it happens, what happens? I mean, technically, all I know is talak, talak, talak. That's all I know. But I don't know what's it like for divorce in Muslim society? Because from what you said, you guys nearly got divorced.
yes, we
It was
spoke
that
about
serious.
it so many times. We did speak about it so many times. Now, if you go to see technically how is divorce in supposed to be in Muslims, so it is supposed to be a full 9 monthly period. Sorry, it is supposed to be a full 9 monthly period. If I'm not wrong, the first 3 months.
Okay, let's not talk about the technical thing.
Fine.
Let's talk about like society and family and
In the Indian society, divorce is seen as a stigma.
Mm.
I still don't understand why.
Mhm.
I mean, if you are not agreeing with the other person for years together, okay, and the other person, both the people have become a liability for each other, then might as well separate. Yes, it has got the repercussions on children. If you do not have any children, it's an added bonus. But if you do have any children, then yes, it has to be thought about pretty well.
Okay, so if I may ask, um, I'm not very knowledgeable about. There are different Muslim sects or whatever you call it. You're Bori Muslim.
Yes,
Do you all follow the Quran?
yes, we do.
So in the Quran, what does the Quran say about divorce?
It's a 9 month process. It is
So
not.
they allow it. It is permissible.
It is permissible.
And
of
under
course.
what conditions is it permissible?
Number one, the Quran says that the woman has got equal rights. Biologically, the man and the woman are two very different people, of course. But then the woman has got equal rights. So if a woman is not happy in the marriage, she has the right to say, okay, yes, I want to get divorced.
Just because they are not happy?
Yes.
So that's it? Happy?
Yes. Yes. If she's not happy or content in the marriage for whatever reason. Now, the process is supposed to be the first 3 months, the husband and wife should sit down and they should try and mend their differences.
Mhm.
If they are unable to do that, then for the next 3 months, an outsider is invited to come and talk to them, like a therapist or somebody. And still, if it doesn't happen, still if they are unable to mend their differences, then they are allowed to stay away from each other for the next 3 months. So the first 3 months is supposed to be talaq number one. Second 3 months is supposed to be talaq number one, and third 3 months is supposed to be talaq number one. So it is never that over the phone the husband has just said talaq, 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 and it is done. No, that's not the process actually. This is the process. It has been made in this manner so that at least you keep
There
on
are chances
thinking,
of reconciliation.
correct, especially during the last trimester.
So in that trimester, you all are allowed to live apart and to see whether you all miss each other or love each other and want to come back.
Exactly. But even after that, once when you've decided that no, you do not want to reconcile again, then it is also said that you're not allowed to remarry.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is that particularly strict.
So it's frowned
Now,
upon.
I'm not a religious guy, but this is what exactly I know. But it is never ever this way. Talaq, talaq, talaq just said, and the husband just goes off.
Interesting.
So anybody who's not happy in the relationship, be it the husband or the wife, they have the full right to go up to the cleric and tell them, okay, boss, I'm not
I'm
happy.
going to give you an interesting perspective. I saw this the other day. It said that marriage is not meant to make you happy. Marriage is meant to make you holy. Now, you have gone through a big struggle. Your wife and you nearly divorced. But throughout the struggle, you all have learned to work with each other, learned to live with each other.
Yes.
Today, aren't you happy that you are
Very
married?
happy. Very happy.
And don't you think that through this entire process, both of you all have grown together?
Yes.
You all have learned, you all have become more wise.
Yes.
and maybe in a way holier.
I don't know about the last part, to be honest, because I still do not pray.
No, I'm not talking about praying. Holy.
Spiritually?
No, holy could also be more disciplined, more wise,
Definitely.
more
Definitely.
knowing what is right and wrong.
True that.
I believe in the institution of marriage. Marriage
Should.
is very, very, very essential for any society to grow stably.
Correct.
Because the institution of marriage is being attacked in America, today America is a mess, socially completely destroyed.
Totally.
I can see that. I mean, it's so nice that you brought your wife here, and because of what you have gone through with her, today you all are much stronger together, aren't you?
Yes. We plan to go out for a movie after this.
Very good. So, interesting to know, but I'd love to have some kind of supporting document, or not a document, but a reference in the Quran which says divorce is permissible based on happiness, because happiness is a very fleeting feeling, man.
It is a fleeting feeling.
It's too fickle.
It is a fleeting feeling. Look,
divorce is allowed based on happiness.
I don't remember the exact reference as such, but then there have been some stories in the hadith. Okay, some woman had approached, I think, Maulana Ali. Maulana Ali was the son-in-law.
So what is hadith?
Hadiths are the collection of small sort of stories or sayings.
So it's not part of the Quran. It's
No, it is not part
supporting
of the Quran. No.
whatever.
Of the sayings of Prophet Muhammad and his family.
Okay.
It's a small little collection.
So, let me tell you what the Bible says. The Bible says that God made man and wife to be together, and no one shall come to break them apart. Okay? The only condition under which divorce is allowed, or is not, probably allowed is the right word. It's not encouraged, but it's the only condition under which divorce is allowed is infidelity. Okay? So that's according to the Bible. And yet the Bible does say to reconcile, because marriage is very important, as you said, for children. For children,
Absolutely.
it's super important. Anyway,
that was one of the reasons why we are still together.
Absolutely.
And we've got beautiful children with us.
I'm really happy y'all are together. I'm really happy that y'all have overcome this struggle together as husband and wife. I think y'all become much more wise. Other couples can come to you now for advice. Don't you think that's a blessing?
It is a blessing, but I don't want to sound too old.
Why not
right now?
It's not old when you help somebody. But amazing, man. We've had an amazing conversation.
Same here. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Most welcome. And thank you for sharing your story. I think a lot of people will want to get to know you better, because you've gone through something that many people have not gone through. And probably you are a second generation business person?
Yes.
Yeah.
In my family, yes.
Yeah. And you have a lot of lessons to teach. I was thinking, when I was asking about the book thing, maybe you should write your own book and tell people about all the lessons that you've learned.
My wife tells me that.
Yeah, see? I got some
telepathy going on.
Support from your wife. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mujtaba. Where can people find you? Where can people get in touch with you?
My number is 93261133. It's been there with me for the past 18 to 20 years. The same number.
Okay.
So that's the easiest way.
Wow. You must have more than 10,000 contacts.
In my phone right now, about 4,000.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You've not been in BNI long enough, maybe. I'm just kidding. I don't know. That's amazing. You're only the second person on this podcast who shared their personal phone number.
Okay.
Most people don't. Most people will say either their website or their...
Why wouldn't they?
Well, you never know who will get your number. But it's a good thing, because people can reach out to you.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying that you're only the second person. I don't know why the other people have not. But it's a good thing.
Thank you.
people can get in touch with you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mujtaba.
Pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Pleasure. Same here.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Creative Genesis podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Creative Studio Goa. You can find us on Google Maps. And hey, if you want to get in touch with us, the email below, use it for business inquiries. Once again, thank you very much. This is your host, Ryan Lobo from Creative Genesis podcast. I'll see you next time.